It's very curious. A few days ago I just saw one of your videos about strange events near the highway, and I had the need to tell you something that happened to us with my family around 2002 or 2003. I met some young people my age, so I started to socializing with a group of friends. They were experienced and used to camp on weekends or on vacation in an area called El Condor, very close to the town, to train at that altitude. I always knew what was said about the place, about the sounds on the roads, legends of apparitions, the woman who climbs into the seat of the trailer, the constant sightings of UFOs, which even attracted well-known seekers of paranormal activities, and the stories of a woman in white who appears. They say many things, but in the end, one ends up convincing I know what people's myths are about. Even so, it was always strange to drive on that road. And on that occasion, it was the first time I went camping in the area. I felt a feeling of discomfort, of uncertainty. As soon as we left the highway to take a dirt road just at the height of an abandoned gas station, I lost track of time. I suppose that we have entered the mountains for a few hours. We had stopped seeing ranches and towns. We found a good place to set up the tents, so they told me it was common to see deer, coyotes, wild cats, rarely a bighorn sheep in the distance, and Raoul, the most experienced of those of us who went, claimed to have seen a puma on some occasion. We put everything together and went to sleep. We got up early to train the next day. At night, it was absolutely black. Not even the stars filling the sky managed to give us some light. On those moonlit nights the coyotes listened not so far, and I tried to think of something else and sleep. A while later, half an hour maybe, I woke up when we heard the sound of something that looked like a trailer or a truck, like it was moving at full speed towards us. We all got alarmed and we left the stores to get closer to the dirt road, hoping to see a truck nearby, something that would have caused that sound. But there was nothing. The coyotes have stopped howling, only the crickets could be heard, and what seemed to be millions and millions of crickets. Another of my friends, Miguel, the sound began to affect him. It was a very intense sound, and he put his hands to his ears, in what seemed like a panic attack. We tried to calm him down, thinking that it was due to the suggestion, and we put him in one of the tents. He did not calm down and the crisis worsened. He got completely frozen, and it seemed that he had stopped listening to him. Raoul asked me to help him put a jeep in his truck, and he told me that we would have I had to take him to the nearest town to seek care. Among all of us, we put him in the back seat and I got in with him. Raoul got in the driver's seat and tried to start the truck. Nothing, did not activate the gear. It was not even heard the ignition, the attempt. No sound came from the engine starter. The battery was completely dead. We tried another truck and it was the same. The cell phones were out of the question. Even on the road there was already a bad signal on the cell phones. We lasted hours in there, completely in solitary confinement, and we took Miguel back to the tent. At that moment the cricket stopped listening. Miguel fell asleep and stopped sweating. He was just like that, fast asleep. Suddenly a very intense light that came from outside our camp, we lifted, like we levitated, carried us out of the tents, seemed as if it could go through the fabric of our tents, and then it went off. Lasted only a few seconds. We went out again to see or try to figure out what it was about, giving us courage perhaps. We were 5 young people thinking that we could handle any threat, despite the fact that it is a place full of trees and bushes. We could realize how the source of light was about 150 meters from us. We began to walk towards it only a few meters when another friend shouted, and made us look to our right up a hill. Another identical light had come on at the same time, and another light came on. Suddenly we were in the center of a triangle formed because of the lights. They all went out at the same time. We were silent, without knowing what to say. We heard the sound of something running near us, moving the bushes. I ran to one of the trucks and Everardo ran after me. That was our first reaction. Raoul ran to his truck, and the others to the tents. It was strange, we did it without thinking, just looking for protection. The sound of the crickets began again, much more intense, almost piercing our brains, and I lay down on the floor of the truck trying to hide between the seats of whatever was out there, and everything went out. The next morning, Everardo woke me up at 6 in the morning when the sunlight was just beginning to clear. Everyone was outside, including Miguel. The cold was terrible, but the friends who entered the house were preparing coffee. They said that when they rushed into the camping house they heard what seemed to be a huge animal. It was walking around the camping house. Raul, who had been left alone in the other truck, told us that he was trying to talk to me. When he saw that we hid, he could see several silhouettes hidden in the dark, at least 15 silhouettes closely surrounding our camp. The three of us suddenly fell asleep. No one noticed what we saw or heard. The others at that time in the morning already, some even laughed, trying to lighten what just happened. Someone else made a joke about mushrooms and peyotes or some kind of natural hallucinogen. We heard that Miguel started one of the trucks and we turned to look at him. We didn't even think about it. In less than 5 minutes we had put everything away, and we accelerated the 2 trucks down the road to get to the highway. They never camped in that area again, nor did we tell anyone the real reason why we returned the next morning. I don't even want to imagine what happened. But greetings to those friends if they get to hear this. We don't see each other anymore, but I think what we lived through that night continues to unite us. Thanks for reading.